Alice, are you still with me?
I'm still here.
Perfect. How is, I was wondering, I didn't get to ask you this yet. How's the weather in Los Angeles today?
Well, it's actually it's not horrible. It's a little bit warm, but mild. I discovered that my air conditioner died on Monday. So it's like the hottest day up till now. I think it was in the 90s, and I was just like, I'm not used to it anymore. So I was opening all the windows and not getting a breeze.
Oh,
it's
no.
Like, I got to go out and, like, throw water on myself or something because I'm burning up in here. It was like, so.
I think,
but it's cooled down. It's cooled down.
Oh, good. Yeah, here in the Bay Area, I'm not sure if you heard, but it's like record high temperatures the past few days.
Oh, no.
Like, it hasn't been 90 degrees here in, like, years.
Yeah. That's the worst thing is that you're not prepared for it, right? You're not like,
yep.
Like, I lived in Arizona for a long time. I lived in the desert, and it was regularly over 100 degrees. Like, between May and, like, October, it's usually over 100 degrees. So you have, like, double-paned windows. Every place has some level of air conditioning, a little bit of air conditioning, or a lot of fans, and you know, like, if you're going out, you wear sunscreen, you have water, right. You're just prepared. Exactly. And here, we're so spoiled with our, like, moderate climate that we've just, we're used to
throw a wrench in it.
See what happens.
Right, totally. But it's, you know, it's good to keep us on our toes, too, right? Like, we don't want to be too comfortable.
Why not? I reached the age where I'm like, I kind of do want to be comfortable.
Oh, do you?
A little more comfortable.
Never mind. Well, we're very excited to have you in the Bay Area on August 31st. You're going to be playing at 924 Gilman Street, which is a Bay Area, you know, I'm not going to say relic, but that's the word that comes to mind.
Relic. How about an institution? I don't know.
Institution.
It's certainly a legendary venue.
Yes, absolutely. I believe Nirvana played there at some point. At least that's what they told me. A lot of bands from a defunct label up here called Lookout Records, which is where bands like Green Day, Rancid, Operation Ivy, they all got their start there, played shows there all the time. So it's a great venue. It's always exciting when they're still around, because I'm not sure about Los Angeles, but the Bay Area, San Francisco in particular, has seen a lot of venues close over the past couple years.
Yeah, what happens here is that they don't always close, but sometimes you get new owners, and they have a different vision for the building, and then it just doesn't have the same vibe, the same clientele.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't feel the same after a while. It's funny because, like, when I was growing up, we had the Mask, and the building that used to house the Mask turned into World of Wonder. So I'm like, oh, yeah, it's still, like, keeping in the tradition of, like, challenging the status quo, and being out there, confrontational, unapologetic. It's really cool.
That's really fun. And you're also going to be making an appearance in Washington, D.C. at a folk festival. That looks kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's the Smithsonian Folkways, and I didn't arrange it. It was actually, that came through me through my friend Quetzal Dolores, who is part of the band Quetzal, and he and his wife Marta frequently invite me to perform with their band. And it's kind of cool because they have this great ensemble that can just kind of take on different styles of music and make it their own. So they typically invite different singers to come up on stage and join them. And I was lucky, and invited me to go to D.C., and I'm super excited about it. I'm singing a song that I haven't recorded yet that's relatively new, called Dolores Huerta Street, about wanting a street called Dolores Huerta.
Nice.
And it's based on this poem by Nikki Darling, a local LA poet who wrote this poem about how she would drive around LA and she would drive down streets named for important men and how she could never see herself in them, and they they showed her what important men could be and what it meant to be an important person or important or inspiring man. And she was just saying, like, where's my street? Where's the person that's supposed to inspire me? And
seriously.
So she wrote that poem, and then I asked her if I could write a song about it, and somehow it got to a college professor that was hosting 50th anniversary of Chicano Studies, where Dolores Huerta was going to speak, and she was being honored by a city council person. So anyway, somehow this song, this idea of Dolores Huerta Street started expanding, and the councilman said, we agree with you, we need a street, and we can't do a street right away because it takes time to get people to change their address, but we can do a square. So they're declaring a square in East LA named after Dolores Huerta. Nice. And it started with an idea, with like a poem.
You never know.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm the endless digressor, so feel free to like smack me and put me back in line.
How dare you, Alice? How dare you? No, but I was grazing your Facebook page, and I always look for, interesting little tidbits. And I was like, what's going on in D.C.? Because with everything that's been going on with the, abortions, they're trying to ban abortions in different states, and which I think is interesting because at the same time, equal rights, the Equal Rights Amendment, as you know, we've been inching a little bit closer with that. Do you think that women's rights are eventually going to be protected, or do you think that with the abortion bans, it's just going to be a constant battle?
I think with progress, it's always, like you make some gains, and then you take some losses, and then you just keep inching forward. I mean, I think eventually we will achieve our purpose. But I'm prepared for a long fight, and I know that there's always going to be people to challenge. Even if we make like headway, I think we're always going to face people that want to take us back to the to the past that they imagined was somehow great, and it was great for the privileged few, and rotten for the rest of us.
1969.
So yeah, I feel like
so fondly in the past. But then, with Trump being elected, it was kind of like, wait a minute, like, let me go back to the history books here. Like, didn't all this stuff already happen? Shouldn't we be trying to make more progress and move forward and pass equal rights?
Yes, all this stuff already happened. It happened in Germany a long time ago. We should have learned from history. I mean, I feel like I really, that isn't a time that I know very well, just because when I was young, I was fascinated. Like, one of the earliest books that I came to love was Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, and it really touched me. And I became very fascinated by how the Holocaust happened, and how it reached this point where at what point it was stoppable, and I feel like we really need to look at the past and figure out, are we reaching that point? Do we need to figure out some drastic measures to stop what's happening before we, I think, I'm sure some people listen to me and think she's crazy. It's nowhere near as bad, but it didn't happen overnight. It was a slow, steady erosion of people's rights. And I see it happening now, and I see the scapegoating happening, people that are seen as other.
Right. So, I definitely see that too. Here in the Bay Area, it's just, not to mention with the whole tech thing, it was very, and I'm sure you've seen it too when you come here. It was just very, free form, artistic. way of living, and now everything is just so contrived and controlled. Like, that's the thing with technology. I feel like that's something I'm struggling with. Like, do I like technology? I think it's telling us what to think to a certain extent, or at least controlling certain aspects of how we're supposed to think about things, especially, Facebook, Twitter, all these social media sites. I don't know if it's a good thing anymore, to be honest with you.
Well, I think it has allowed us to really isolate ourselves and to not. It's funny because my daughter and I were just watching CNN, and we were looking at the polls for the presidential election that's coming up. And she looked at me and she said, "Are these the same polls that we had in like 2016 that told us that Trump was going to lose?" And I'm like, I don't know, but I think we better start checking other, like not just looking through the same sources. We've got to diversify our sources so that we have a better idea of what's really happening in our country and in the world.
Definitely.
A lot of times we do tend to just feed ourselves the stuff that we're familiar with, the stuff that we like, what makes us feel like, comforted. But, and people that tell us, oh, yeah, this guy is going to be voted out of office. He's way more, the top 4 candidates are way ahead of him in the polls. But I don't trust those. I'm not sure I trust those polls anymore.
Yeah, me neither. Are there any candidates that speak to you directly at this time?
I feel like I'm waiting until the last moment to endorse a candidate because I don't want anybody influenced or dissuaded. I feel like everybody should have a fair chance. And I really want to make sure that people are still looking at female candidates.
Absolutely.
Just because the 2 front runners are men. I still think we need to pay attention to women and note what they're saying and see how well prepared they are, and keep an open mind up to the end, because I think what we want is not just a victory where we. I mean, I feel like it's hard because I feel like there are lots of things being said that I get really excited about, and there are some candidates that I'm less excited about. And yesterday I asked my husband, if you had to vote for like Pennywise, the evil clown, or Trump, who would you vote for? And he said Pennywise.
Oh gosh!
At least it would be funny,
right?
But I feel like we might have some tough choices, but I'm very clear in my mind that I am going to vote for the person that runs against Trump, and I know that that's not a popular opinion. I certainly do hope that people get what they want. But what I want more than anything, even though I have lots of things that I would like, but what I want more than anything is to have that man out of office and to have our planet protected.
Oh, that's a good.
I still feel like I feel like that's the most. All of it is all of it is pointless if we don't have a planet to live in a few years.
Definitely. And that's something I've been thinking about too, the whole, Green New Deal and how we're going to approach the future in terms of where we get our energy from. But anyways.
Yes, exactly. I think that's very, very important. Like the person that gets, I hope the person that gets the nomination is someone who is, is savvy about the environment.
Definitely. And there's a lot of, young, educated, new voters, too. I met a few of them about 2 weeks ago when they had the convention here in San Francisco. You just don't think about it till you actually meet them, and you're like, there is a future. Okay. There is hope out there.
yeah, I mean, I have daughters, so for me, I feel like I can't leave them this planet in this condition. So I feel like I'm not leaving until I can give my kids something to work with.
Right. Air that we can breathe, and
yes,
what do you call it? Renewable energy. That's a concept that's been around for seems like a few decades now, but we'll figure it out eventually. But anyway,
I hope so.
You're going to be here in August, so that's going to be coming up real soon. And you're going to be at 924 Gilman. Have you played a show there in the past?
I've never played there, and I'm really excited to play there.
Nice. It's very intimate, small stage. I think that's probably what you've seen over the years, or what you've experienced.
I've not only have I never played there, I've never been there.
There's a Whole Foods across the street now, so.
There's a what? Whole Foods?
There's a Whole Foods, like, I want to say a block away or 2 blocks away. That's what I remember. I was like, wait, okay, I'm in Berkeley, okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, the neighborhood is just like San Francisco. It's made a lot of changes over the years, but I mean, some changes good, but then some changes questionable, like we've talked about. So we'll see how it goes. And and we talked a little bit about you making a special appearance at the Bikini Kill show with Le Butcherettes, and it sounds like it went down really well for me, anyway.
Yeah, it was really exciting. It was really fun. We were we got to open for Bikini Kill the very first night at the Palladium, so that was really exciting too. But getting to play with the Butcherettes is always just super exciting for me because I admire Terry so much. Or the band is great. Yeah. I'm just in awe of Terry's, like, her command of the stage, her raw emotion, her, like, she's just an incredible performer. I'm so just enamored with her. It's only, we like, Terry and I have this little love story going on through text. She sends me little texts that say, "Oh, I miss you, my love." In Spanish, of course, right? And then I'll write back with something really sweet, and it's just so nice. I love these little messages I get from her on tour. All of a sudden, it'll be like 3 a.m. and she's writing a little note to me. So yes, what's funny is that we actually met through an event that we were doing, one of those Red Bull Academies. And I had been her fan but didn't know her, and she had been my fan and didn't know me. And then we met at a little Mexican bakery, and we were both like kind of nervous and excited to meet each other. And we bought a tray of pan dulce and ended up like gobbling up the whole thing as we were like excitedly chatting. I don't know. I mean, have you ever been like on a date with somebody you're really excited and you're kind of like trying to keep calm and you're just mindlessly eating? That's what it was like. Just mindlessly eating.
Definitely me.
Like, yes.
You lose track of, you kind of lose track of everything that's going on in real time. You're kind of zoned in on what's in the moment, what's really happening. Dates are nice, but yeah, that sounds great. For me, it was like an ideal lineup. Like, I've been following Le Butcherettes the past couple of years. Bikini Kill was one of the first CDs that I ever bought in the 90s, so that was pretty epic. And then being able to see you, of course, is always a treat as well, because I feel like I missed out, probably over the years here and there. So I'm still catching up with you. So.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was really, I feel very, very lucky to have been able to do that. I did not expect that. Kathleen just showed up to an event that I was hosting and said, you know, we were talking about the show.
Yeah.
And she's like, are you planning on going? And she just kind of worked her way around in a very, like, humble way. Like, why are you asking me in such a humble way? You're fucking Kathleen Hanna. Oh, sorry, Kathleen was not supposed to say that.
No, you're fine.
But
the more the merrier.
And she's like, would you be okay with opening? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I would be okay with that.
Totally okay.
Yeah, I know. She was all like,
and
yeah, so she's another person that's really has been very, very kind to me.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. I mean, it's not interesting, but it is. You know, them kind of getting back together, and you know, it kind of correlates with everything else that's going on. It's like, wow, like we really need this kind of music now. We need it. We need that kind of energy back because for whatever reason, it's not been in the forefront. It's been, you know, we've just been dying to hear it. I know I have.
Yeah, no, I think all of this is happening because of the, you know, I feel like it's all kind of fueled by what's happening in government. You know, this the need for Riot Girl, the need for like a couple, was it last year or 2 years ago that the Fanny Walk the Earth came out, and they have a song on it called She Comes, and it's about like when you need her, she's gonna come, and she's gonna, like, they're calling to their mothers and sisters and daughters to join together and, you know, and face what's coming, what's ahead, right? It's like a call to arms. And a call to action, rather, maybe not arms, but to action. Yeah. And I feel like I felt like it was really strong because when they were recording that song, June Millington asked the ladies in Fanny to write to me and invite me to sing backup. And I got there, and there was like the women who had been in Fanny in different incarnations. There was Cherie Curry. Women from the Bangles who had been part of the singing backing vocals, and Patty Quattro. Like, they had like these women from other female-led groups, and it was a very, like, you know, I was in the studio and there's all these women around me, and we're all singing, like, you know, calling women to come to action. Yeah, it was wonderful. It's really exciting, and I think it's also a result of that, like, feeling like, let's get together, let's push back. I really feel like it's time for women to take a much more active role in leading the world. Absolutely. Yeah. And if we don't see it, how can we believe it? I mean, I don't know about you, but I've been kind of using like the civil rights movement as kind of, you know, like they were kind of taking those steps too, and they had to be militant when they had to, and they were peaceful when they felt they needed to be, but they knew that they needed to get visibility, otherwise nobody was ever going to take them seriously, you know. So yeah, it's well, and then since you were asking about what I've been up to, another thing that I'm up to is I'm working with this group of writers. We contributed to this book called Women Who Rock, and it was all about female musicians, and I think it's called From Bessie to Beyonce, edited by Evelyn McDonald. Anyway, we were at a local radio show. We were getting ready to go on the air and talk about the book. There was, I think, 8 of us in the studio. Okay. And as we were sitting there waiting for our turn to go on, we started like just thinking about how we didn't want it to end with the book. We wanted the book to be a beginning of like the amplification of women's voices in music and art, right? So so we formed this group called Turn It Up, that we just started working together to reach out to different women who are involved in the music industry, whether it's like playing an instrument or managing bands or booking shows or in different aspects of music and entertainment, and trying to figure out ways that we can increase visibility and amplify women's voices. So that's a project that I'm working on right now that I'm really excited about.
That sounds
we're
amazing.
Going to be we're going to be doing a fundraiser out here in LA in July. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Well, keep us posted on anything that happens with that. I'm sure you'll post about it.
Yeah, I will.
Nice. And there was a book that recently came out called California Cool, and it's mostly, I believe that it's photography or photos that were taken mostly in the San Francisco punk scene, but I think you're also featured in the book as well. Is that right?
I don't know. California Cool?
Yeah, I think it's, she's a local photographer, Ruby Ray.
Is it Ruby Ray? Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
And I think she had like a picture of you, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I need to check that out.
Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't realize the name. It's California with a K and Cool with a K. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because I have the book, and her name is big, and then the California Cool is small. So I'm like, so I didn't notice it.
No worries.
But
yeah.
I'm a fan of Ruby Ray too. She's a wonderful photographer, and I feel like enough people haven't seen her photographs. So she's part of that exhibit too on the East Coast, that Museum of Sex. I don't know if you saw. People were posting photographs because there was a very elaborate campaign for the Museum of Sex that included images of me and Penelope Houston.
Oh, right.
So, yeah.
I'm going to look for this.
So apparently the photos in the exhibit were not quite as sensational. They were not as big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I'm definitely going to tell people about the book, especially if you're in it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to check it out, too.
Yeah. No, she's a great photographer. You should.
Yes.
I'm a fan of Ruby's.
Yep. And we're excited to have you in Berkeley on August 31st at 924 Gilman Street. And we're really looking forward to it.
Cool. And I'm playing with JCDC and Maya Songbird and the Hammer Bombs.
Nice.
So it's gonna be fun. I saw JCDC recently, and it was really fun. It was really fun.
That sounds great. Well, thanks so much for taking the time today. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Of course.
Will I see you? Will I see you at Gilman?
Oh, most likely yes, but I will email you if for some reason I end up going to Pasadena.
Okay. We'll just trade places.
Yes. But I know that you play a lot in Los Angeles, so if I don't make it to the Berkeley show, I'll definitely make an appearance at one of the LA shows because I have family down south. So I'm constantly,
By down south, you mean LA?
Oh, Los Angeles, yes.
That's funny. Is that what you people call it up there? Down south?
That's how I think of it.
Alabama.
Oh, God. I'm glad I'm not going there. Not anytime soon. Maybe in a few years. Let things cool off,
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yes. I mean SoCal. Well, it's, still considered SoCal. Who knows what might happen in the next few years. But we'll keep our fingers crossed, right?
Yeah. Oh, please.
2020, just around the corner. All righty. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Oh, it's almost the weekend.
Really? Wait, isn't it Wednesday?
Oh.
Okay, I like the way you think.
It's hump day.
Yeah, it's hump day.
Almost there. All right. Well, I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon.
Okay, I'll see you or talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Okay, bye.